Beyond the cities and coffee shops, Washington hides a world few ever see, a land sculpted by fire, ice, and time, where volcanoes sleep beneath the clouds and ancient rivers carve paths through stone. Here, silence speaks through forests older than memory, and lakes shimmer with colors not found on any map. This is not the Washington you think you know. This is a journey into the unseen. So come with us as we uncover Washington's most mysterious wonders and rediscover the soul of the Pacific Northwest, one hidden treasure at a time. High above the clouds, a frozen titan rises, Mount Baker, crowned in snow, piercing the sky like a sentinel of the north. Its slopes stretch wide and wild, shaped by time, wind, and fire. From the air, its silence is deceiving. Beneath lies a restless force, part of the volcanic spine that defines this land. Here, adventure thrives. Snowmobilers carve fleeting paths across ancient ice, dwarfed by a mountain that has witnessed centuries. This is Washington, vast and untamed. Before we go further, we'd love to hear from you. Tell us in the comments, where are you watching from? It's always a joy to see our tranquil travel family tuning in from around the world. Rising like a dream above the horizon, Mount Reineer is more than a mountain. It's a living monument to the raw power and quiet grace of the Pacific Northwest. Encased in over 24 glaciers, it's the most heavily glaciated peak in the lower 48 states. Yet its true beauty lies not just in its scale, but in its silence. The mountain was known to the indigenous Puyallup people as Tahoma or Tacoma, meaning the mother of waters, a name reflecting the glacier-fed rivers that flow from its flanks. It was later renamed Mount Rainier in 1792 by British explorer George Vancouver in honor of his friend, Rear Admiral Peter Reineer. Adventure seekers come year-round. Climbers challenge its icy summit, while hikers explore over 260 miles of trails across subalpine wildflower fields, glacial valleys, and lava ridges. Carved by cataclysm, Paloo Falls stands as one of the last active remnants of the Ice Age floods that once scoured eastern Washington. At 198 feet tall, the falls plunge into a bowl-shaped canyon, formed not over millennia, but in just days, by the massive Missoula floods over 13,000 years ago. The falls are named after the Paloo tribe, native people who lived, fished, and traded along the riverbanks. They called the falls Aputaput, meaning falling water. For generations, it served as both a spiritual site and a seasonal fishing ground where salmon would gather at the base during migration. Today, the canyon walls echo with wind and time. Visitors peer over basalt cliffs, unaware they're standing on the edge of a prehistoric flood path. Few places capture the balance between devastation and renewal like Mount St Helens. Beneath their wheels, this adventurous couple rides the rim of what was once the most violent volcanic eruption in U.S. history. On May 18, 1980, the entire north flank of Mount St. Helens collapsed, triggering a lateral blast that leveled forests, melted glaciers, and reshaped the land in seconds. The force released was equivalent to 1,600 atomic bombs. Today, the landscape tells two stories, one of destruction and one of resilience. Trails like the Boundary Trail and Ape Canyon now offer mountain bikers a rare ride across volcanic ash plains, pumice fields, and regenerating forests. The terrain is raw, technical, and eerily beautiful. Tucked deep within the North Cascades, Diablo Lake looks like something from another planet. Its vivid turquoise waters twist between towering peaks and rugged ridgelines. A surreal sight, carved by glaciers and reshaped by human hands. At the northwesternmost point of the continental United States, land meets ocean in one of the wildest collisions of earth and sea. This is Cape Flattery. Jagged sea stacks rise from swirling waters. Wind and waves carve sandstone cliffs into tunnels and arches, while seabirds wheel overhead in the ever-present mist. It's a place where the continent seems to end, not with certainty, but with mystery. Perched on Tatoosh Island, just off the coast of Cape Flattery, stands one of the most remote and storied beacons in the Pacific Northwest, the Cape Flattery Lighthouse. First lit in 1857, it was among the earliest lighthouses built on the West Coast, guiding ships through the dangerous Strait of Juan de Fuca, a route plagued by fog, currents, and jagged rocks. For early mariners, this light marked both warning and welcome. Today, it's off limits to the public, protected as part of Maka tribal lands, and preserved as a symbol of coastal history. Few places capture isolation and endurance quite like this, where light once battled darkness, and human ingenuity met the full force of nature. At the southern edge of Puget Sound lies Olympia, Washington's quiet capital, often overlooked yet rich in history and civic importance. Framed by evergreen forests and distant mountain ranges, it's a city where political power meets coastal calm. Olympia was chosen as the state capital in 1853, thanks to its central location and deep natural harbor. When Washington became a state in 1889, the city took on a new role as the seat of government for one of the fastest growing regions in the country. At low tide on Martha's Beach in Lough Connor, the sea pulls back to reveal hidden shapes, quiet markers of time, erosion, and solitude. This solitary rock, circled by the rhythm of waves, tells a smaller story, one of stillness, of waiting, of the subtle power of place. Lough Connor itself is a coastal town with deep roots, once a trading hub for the Swinomish people, and later a farming and fishing community shaped by the tides. Today it's known for its art, heritage, and the kind of quiet that makes scenes like this possible. At low tide, the Skagit Flats stretch wide. Shorebirds return, barnacles cling to exposed stone, and for a moment, even the most ordinary objects, like this weathered rock, become part of a grander, more tranquil narrative. Enjoying the peaceful journey? Subscribe to Tranquil Travel. It's free, and every click helps us keep sharing these calm, beautiful places with you. Blanketed in white, Spokane reveals a different side of Washington. After a blizzard, the city slows down. Streets empty, rooftops soften, and the familiar noise of daily life is muffled under a thick, quiet snow. Located in eastern Washington near the Idaho border, Spokane has long stood apart from the coastal cities, shaped more by mountains, rivers, and plains than by ocean tides. Founded in the late 19th century as a rail and timber hub, it grew quickly, fueled by hydropower from the powerful Spokane River. But under snow, the industrial lines fade. The city's historic bridges, churches, and clock towers take on a kind of still beauty. Riverfront Park becomes a white canvas where time feels suspended. For locals, a blizzard means challenge, but also wonder. In those early hours after the storm, Spokane belongs not to traffic or business, but to silence, light, and the hush of falling snow. Puget Sound is not just a body of water. It's a living, breathing system that defines life in western Washington. A flooded glacial valley stretching over 100 miles. Its inlets and bays weave around islands, peninsulas, and forested shores. Shaped by ice, sustained by tide, and shared by millions, Puget Sound is both gateway and guardian of the Pacific Northwest. Across Lake Washington from Seattle, framed by distant mountains and evergreen forests, lies Bellevue, a city where nature and innovation coexist in delicate balance. The name Bellevue comes from the French for beautiful view, a fitting description of this once rural farming community that has grown into one of the most dynamic cities in the Pacific Northwest. What was once berry fields and logging roads is now a gleaming skyline of glass towers, global tech headquarters, and urban parks. Yet just minutes from downtown, you can still walk forested trails, kayak across calm lakes, or spot bald eagles from the shores of Mercer Slough. Bellevue is a city built on contrast, where tranquil wetlands sit beneath corporate campuses, and quiet neighborhoods stretch just beyond a bustling commercial core. It's a reminder that even in growth, Washington cities remain deeply connected to the land beneath them. Just minutes from Bellevue's skyline, Mercer Slough winds quietly through 320 acres of wetlands, forest, and wildlife habitat. Here, nature weaves through the city, where herons glide above boardwalks and kayakers drift through a hidden world few ever notice. Just 35 miles east of Seattle, Rattlesnake Lake sits at the edge of the Cascades, a calm glacial basin cradled by forest and stone. This serene reservoir was once farmland, flooded in the early 1900s after underground springs rose with the construction of a nearby dam. Today, it's a peaceful escape for hikers, paddleboarders, and anyone seeking quiet beneath the cliffs of Rattlesnake Ledge. As we fly toward Manhasset Bay Marina, the coastline of Port Washington comes into view, lined with sailboats, calm waters, and the unmistakable rhythm of Long Island's North Shore. Located on Manhasset Bay, this marina is a gateway to both leisure and legacy. Nestled on Whidbey Island's southern edge, the town of Freeland offers waterfront living at its most tranquil. From above, homes line the curve of Holmes Harbor, each with front-row seats to tides, sunsets, and the still rhythm of island life. From above, the pattern is unmistakable. Rows of rooftops stretching to the horizon, a grid of repetition carved into once open land. This is middle-class America, where growth often means expansion, and the landscape bends to meet demand. Originally a utopian settlement in the early 1900s, Freeland has grown into a quiet coastal community where nature is always just a step beyond the backyard. And subscribe to Tranquil Travel for more serene escapes. It's free, but it truly supports us more than you know. Perched on a windswept cliff where the Columbia River meets the Pacific, the Cape Disappointment Lighthouse has watched over one of the most treacherous stretches of coastline in North America since 1856. This headland earned its name in 1788, when British explorer John Meares, blocked by fog and breakers, failed to realize he was just miles from the Columbia River and turned back, missing the discovery by mere hours. The waters here are known as the Graveyard of the Pacific, where shifting sandbars, violent storms, and strong currents have claimed hundreds of ships. The lighthouse was built as a lifeline, its steady beam guiding vessels into the Columbia, a vital artery of trade and exploration. East of Spokane, the valley opens wide, a sweeping landscape carved by ancient floods and threaded by the Spokane River. Once the path of glacial outburst floods, this valley is now home to farms, neighborhoods, and one of Washington's fastest-growing communities. But the river remains the centerpiece, flowing cold and fast from Lake Coeur d'Alene, shaping the land and life around it. Long before development, the Spokane tribe lived along these banks, fishing salmon and building seasonal villages. Today, the river still draws people for rafting, fishing, and moments of peace beneath basalt cliffs and cottonwood groves. As suburbs expand along its edges, the Spokane River remains a constant, its currents carrying echoes of the past beneath bridges, trails, and steep basalt walls. In every season, it reminds us, even as landscapes change, the river endures, unfolding the story of Eastern Washington, one bend at a time. Windjammer Park is more than a public space. It's a living backdrop to island life, where picnics, parades, and tidal breezes meet. Once the site of military housing, the park was reshaped into open waterfront after decades of community effort, preserving space where locals and visitors alike can reconnect with the sea. Oak Harbor itself grew alongside the nearby Naval Air Station, a city shaped by flight, service, and a close connection to water. Even today, fighter jets sometimes thunder above, while children build sandcastles below. Here on Whidbey Island, the view is always changing, but the sense of place remains. Winding along the edge of the Salish Sea, Chucknut Drive is one of Washington's oldest scenic byways, where the road clings to forested bluffs, and every bend reveals a new canvas of sea and stone. In fall, the canopy erupts in color, crimson maples, golden alders, and the deep green of old-growth evergreens, transforming the route into a corridor of fire and fog. Built in the early 1900s as part of the Pacific Highway, Chuckanut Drive was once the only way north to Bellingham. Today, it remains a favorite escape, where nature and nostalgia travel side by side. In the heart of Spokane, the river transforms, crashing over granite ledges in a thundering descent known as Spokane Falls. Once a sacred gathering place for the Spokane tribe, these falls powered early industry and still generate hydroelectric energy today, bridging past, power, and place. Above it all, the sky ride glides silently across the gorge, offering a rare perspective where city streets, steel bridges, and wild blue waters all converge. Here, nature and urban life don't compete. They collide in one of the Pacific Northwest's most unexpected cityscapes. At the southern tip of Whidbey Island, the Clinton Ferry loads car by car, linking island life to the mainland with a journey across the Puget Sound. For locals, this is routine. For visitors, it's a rite of passage, where the hum of engines fades into the hush of open water, and land slowly drifts away behind the wake. Washington's ferry system is the largest in the U.S., and here at Clinton, the connection is more than transport. It's tradition, movement, and a moment to breathe between destinations. Seattle rises densely along the edge of Lake Washington, where glass towers and tightly packed neighborhoods reflect in calm inland waters. This is a city built on connection, bridging lakes, rivers, and innovation, where nature flows alongside the rapid rhythm of urban life. Seattle's city center is where the Northwest meets the world, a skyline of steel and glass rising from the edge of Puget Sound. What began as a timber town in the 1800s quickly grew into a Pacific trade hub, launching everything from ships and coffee to tech giants that reshaped the globe. Beneath the towering headquarters of Amazon and Microsoft, cars flow endlessly through downtown, tracing the rhythms of a city that never stands still. And just beyond, the Great Wheel turns slowly above Elliott Bay, offering a quieter view of the same landscape, where cargo ships glide by, ferries dock, and the pulse of Seattle meets the calm of the Sound. This is a city of contrast, industry and nature, motion and stillness, history and horizon. From volcanic peaks to coastal quiet, from city skylines to forgotten trails, Washington reveals itself not all at once, but piece by breathtaking piece. If this journey moved you, inspired you, or simply helped you breathe a little deeper, we invite you to stay with us. Subscribe to Tranquil Travel for more serene escapes and hidden stories from around the world. And don't forget, drop a comment below and tell us where you're watching from. It's always a joy to see our travel family grow, one story at a time.